Hey guys, thanks for joining the channel. It's Dude with a Bible. All right, I'm Jay, I'm the host, and happy to have you guys here. All right, so what you want to do is scroll or jump to James chapter 1. All right, and we're just going to go over the testing of your faith. And this video is going to be about specifically temptation. All right, so jump to James chapter 1 and let's start with verse 12 and we'll go to verse 15. So 12 to 15. All right, it says, "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. Let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, for he himself tempts no one, but each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death." Right? Sometimes physical, sometimes spiritual. My friends, it is a big deal that we make sure we don't look at temptations and trials as the same thing. Trials, if they come from God, fine. They're not meant to overcome us or overwhelm us, but to encourage us to draw closer to the Lord, to pray to God, to depend on God, and to build a relationship with him. All right. If you think about it, for those of you who have children or you have a dog, what would you do? Or if you have anything that you have to take care of, if you're irresponsible with that thing, it's going to go to the trash heap. Things are going to go really bad, or they're going to go wrong. Okay. And so, just like with a child, it's better if you chastise your child, right? Instead of them, for instance, playing with the stove or playing with something sharp and hurting themselves. It's better if you give them a little pow pow, or you give them you communicate with them rather, even, and you talk to them and tell them, hey, don't do that. It's wrong. It's going to hurt you. You try to forewarn them of things that can hurt them. Okay, so it's better for you to critique them and to encourage them and tell them why something's wrong, right? Or put them through an obstacle or a trial so you can train them, right, to do the right thing, train them in righteousness. And so that's what God is often trying to do when it comes to trials, right? It's better that happens than for you to just fall into temptation elsewhere, go through obstacles where he'd have to save you from something he didn't put you through because of his will. So when you're walking in God's will, there may be trials, but it's for refining you, developing you. And I'll touch on that more in another video. But when it comes to temptation, right? Your temptation comes from your own desires. This is the carnal and temporal desires that you have in your flesh, okay? So if you struggle with certain things, some of your desires lead you to those sins and to those vices. Whatever practices you have that are ungodly, those are leading you to your own temptations. How do you overcome temptation? What is the solution to temptation? Essentially, in short, it's saying yes to Jesus and no to what's tempting you. But you will not, on the day of temptation or the moment of temptation, where are you going to get the power from to say no? How can you overcome the flesh? How can you overcome evil with good if you haven't practicing and putting in the time and the discipline in being able to say no at that time? And the key to that is reading your Bible, spending time in God's presence, praying, fellowship with other Christians, ingesting Christian things and Christian resources like books and media and sermons and things like that. And for at certain times you'll have to fast, right? Let fasting from certain things certain foods, certain things that your eyes may see, certain things that your ears may hear, so that you can empty yourself of what's not fruitful for your relationship with God. And so you can be more set apart and holy. Guys, try it. I guarantee you, when you spend more time with the things of God, doing the things of God, ingesting the things of God, you are going to, by default, building up your intolerance for sin, right? And you will be able to overcome temptation, all right? So guys, that is how you overcome temptation. That is how you look at temptation. It comes from sinful things in the world. The world is trying to tempt you. Satan and the demons, they're trying to tempt you. Your flesh, those three things are trying to tempt you. Because remember, your flesh, your mind has recorded all kinds of things since you was a kid. If you were raped and molested, if you had a lot of sexual activity, if you were kissing people of the same gender for years, if you were cursing, using profanity for a long time, your flesh recorded that. So if your flesh recorded that, it's because it's been conditioned to do those things. So when you're trying to stop them, right, it's hard not to give in because you've been doing them for a long time. And those are just examples, right? You can say that about overeating or gluttony or lying or stealing, right? If you've conditioned yourself to do that and you don't have something to counter that thinking, you're always going to fall to the temptation, right? You have a desire for something because you continue to experience it willingly, right? Guys, I hope this makes sense. I know it's a lot of these truths, biblical truths, it has helped me a lot. But that's what temptation is, and that's how you respond to it. All right, guys, it's Minister Jay here. Don't forget, if you have any questions, concerns, for any speaking engagements, email me at dudewithabible@yahoo.com. Check us out on all social media. And for free resources, go to www.dudewithabible.com. God bless you guys.